All right, more U.S. troops are heading to Iraq. The White House announcing 560 more brave Americans will be deployed to help fight ISIS. The total number of military personnel over there now topping 4,600. Pete Hegseth served in Iraq and says it's about time the administration calls this mission a combat operation. Hey, Pete.
Hey.
Now's the time. You've been saying it's the time.
Well, it sure is. And it says 4,600. It's closer to 6,000 if you count all the troops on the ground and then contract support. This is not a pillow fight. This is combat. Now, our men and women in uniform are not at the front line like a Battle of Fallujah style 2004, but the advise and assist mission, the close air support, the intelligence, the training of Iraqis is all built toward combat and a siege, ultimately, of Mosul, which there were some important developments on that just yesterday, and hopefully eventually Raqqa. But there's been some tactical gains, but there's really no strategic.
But so talk to me about that, because you've been critical of this all along. How would you describe the progress that we are currently making?
Incremental, inch by inch, utilizing different actors in different places. So we took back Ramadi and Fallujah with Iranian troops, with no plan to know how to hold that. In Mosul, there's going to be a siege of both Iraqi armored divisions, but also the Kurds, who stake claim on portions of that land. The Baghdad government is increasingly illegitimate. What the political solution looks at the end of all this is totally uncertain, and ISIS doesn't see borders, so they still have a firm grip on their caliphate up in Syria, and we said Bashar al-Assad should go. So it is combat, but what it looks like after we defeat an enemy, say in Mosul, is very, very uncertain. It's not clear we defeat this insurgency.
So how important is that to strategy to name this, as you are saying, what it is, a combat operation?
Well, what's important to strategy is crushing and defeating your enemy, having them know that you're committed to the cause, which Barack Obama has never been. We've tiptoed throughout. It's been a slow drip increase in troops, a pinprick strike of airstrikes, nothing overwhelming the way we saw in Desert Storm or Iraq and Afghanistan, and therefore we just sort of drag along on the ground. The mission gets longer, it slogs on, and the caliphate gains legitimacy. The longer it exists, the more legitimate it is, and it's been able to export itself to Libya and elsewhere. So the fact that we don't call it combat makes it more difficult combat in the future. George Bush said, if we don't defeat him during the surge, we're going to fight a more vicious enemy in the future, which is exactly what we've gotten. It's either time we fight it for real and take the gloves off, or we're going to keep slow dripping away.
Love getting your perspective on that. And a busy guy you are, so thank you for stopping by to talk to us. All right, Pete Hegseth.